What's up, guys, and welcome back to Planners and Wine. My name is Megan.
And I am Myra. Welcome back to another week. Yay.
Yes, guys. There is another week in this planner community, and we got some stuff to talk about today, y'all. We do, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Myra, how have you been without going too much into detail?
Without going into details yet, I have been great. I am super excited. When most of y'all are hearing this is Notion Week, completely something Laura and I kind of coined to talk about Notion. So y'all have seen a little bit of stuff already, but we are going to go live together on Saturday to kind of wrap up the week. But I'm excited because the girls been wanting to know more about Notion, and we're going to give it to you.
Yes, that's amazing. Do y'all have a time yet for Saturday?
9. You know how I usually do the morning thing.
Okay, so I may be up or I might be team replay.
Yeah.
But either way, I gotta support my girls, and I'm so excited about that. It's awesome.
Yeah. So make sure you guys are checking out Plan with Laura. She's gonna have a YouTube video and everything, and we're just gonna give y'all what y'all need. So I'm excited for that.
Yes, I've been hearing just so much. It's like everybody in the planner community discovers things at the exact same time, because I've seen so many people talking about Notion, and it seems like it's out of nowhere. Like it was a little bit last year, I was hearing bits and pieces about Notion, but now it's like so many people have discovered it, and it's kind of all over the place, which is really exciting. Y'all have me really wanting to try it. Because I'm in a very overwhelmed space in my planner life right now, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah.
Notion is giving me the piece that I need. Has kind of been this digital planning system that has been working perfect with any lineup that I have. So I'm excited to share more about at least how I use it. Hopefully it's helpful.
Yes, I'm sure it will be. First things first, definitely want to shout out to our VIP patrons. We had our meetup that we have with our top tier of patrons every other month. So April was a month, and we started it off on April 1st. And went ahead and did the meetup. It felt like it had been literally forever. We just had so much to talk about since Go Wild and everything. So it was a lot of fun. Saw a few new faces, and it's always a good time with the patrons. So shout out to them.
Yay. Yeah, that was a ton of fun. A ton of fun. It does seem like it's been forever. I guess it had to been what, that February?
February, yeah. And I think it was probably towards the beginning of February. It wasn't close to Wild at all. I don't think so.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think so. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. But that was a ton of fun for sure. And we always have a good time with those folks. Love those folks. But it was busy. It was a busy zone.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely got to get used to more people being in there, because we have just grown the Patreon so much over the past year. So definitely something to get used to, but it's good changes for sure. So let's kind of get into I guess the first thing before we get into our weeks, really, let's go ahead and do a little planner lunch news. So we do have lunch season coming up. Basically it is upon us. The first of the lunches that I'm at least familiar with is Simplified Planner. They are coming out with their new planners. As y'all are hearing this, it will already be out, but their planner is launching on April the 5th, and apparently they are changing up the paper, which is definitely not something that we always see. It takes a lot for brands to make that type of change. So I'm curious about what spurred that. It seemed like it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Can you remind me again? Because I get Simplified and I feel like maybe it's another Amplified mixed up. Is this all-in-one?
No, it's not. Simplified is their main planner is a daily planner, but they also have a weekly, but it's like a daily O-ring planner. That's why you haven't tried it, because O-ring.
Okay, yeah. So it's like it has the weeklies and the dailies in the same.
No, it just has monthlies and dailies.
Okay.
Yeah, and the weekly is a whole nother planner or whatever.
Okay.
But I've tried it before. I tried it a couple years ago. I liked it. y'all already know I'm just not a daily gal. I just cannot get daily to happen, even though I am trying to make it happen. It has so far not worked for me. But yeah, I don't recall having an issue with the paper. I don't recall it being too thin. I know it wasn't super thick. Like obviously, like the EC paper is the thickest of the thick. I don't think it was that thick, but I don't recall it being like printer paper or anything like that. So I'm curious about what this new paper is about. Like if they're gonna do like a live talking about. I think I saw something about some live pen test or something like that. So I don't know. We'll keep y'all posted if y'all are interested.
Only in the planner world can you swing a live pen test.
The girls want to know
how the
pens are gonna be on this paper. We got to know before we invest. Period.
Well, I feel like if you can't recall that the paper, the paper quality, then it must have just been okay. Yeah. So I am curious to see if they like went up or down in the quality.
From what the post that I saw, it sounds like they went up because they specifically used the word thicker in the I think it was on their Facebook page or something like that. So I'm curious about that. If it's maybe like an EC dupe or something, that'll be very, very interesting. But they can't make it too thick because it's a daily. And they put their daily all in one, like all in one planner. It's not like split into like 6 months. So I don't know. I guess we just
there's no way you can get an EC paper on one. Well, I mean, it is O-ring, so maybe you can.
Yeah. If
you definitely can't do it on a coil. Right. It's just not possible.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. I guess, yeah, but we'll see. We'll keep y'all posted as we get more information heading on to lunch season. We definitely have some other planner lunches coming up soon. But yeah, that's the main one that's going on this week as far as I know. I guess we could just go ahead and get into our weeks. I'll talk about mine first because mine is a little less dramatic. I guess is the only word I could think to use. Mine has just only been drama filled by proxy to Myra. It has not been drama filled on its own, so I guess it's a good thing. But yeah, I have just been getting into my second week at my new job. It's been going really, really well, and I started a Grey's Anatomy rewatch that has completely taken over my life. I've seen Grey's Anatomy before several times, but man, it's just nothing like those first few seasons. And so that's what I'm watching right now. And it's good. It is good, y'all. I love it.
I bet. Yeah. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Myra has not seen Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. Clearly, if I couldn't tell I couldn't give a comment on something that I haven't seen.
It's okay. But yeah, Grey's is one of my favorite shows. I just love rewatching my shows. What are shows that you like to rewatch?
Like, are we allowed to get nerdy? Because
of course.
Okay. Well, I mean, for me, it's a ton of anime. I don't think there's a show like a mainstream show that I would rewatch. Maybe Atlanta. I did rewatch that, but I mean, it's only like we're on season 3.
Yeah.
So it's really not like a huge rewatch, but that I love that show as far as mainstream. But yeah, for the anime people out there, Samurai Champloo, I will rewatch that mug over and over. Hunter x Hunter, and why can I think of it? I can't think of it, y'all. I cannot think of. I have it in my head, but I cannot think of the name. Oh well, it's an anime.
It's gonna come to you randomly in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the show, hopefully. The anime was I can see it, but I can't think of the title of it. But yeah, usually that's what I would like rewatch over and over because it's just so good. So good.
Have you binged Insecure yet?
I have not. I know. Yeah. Take the black girl card.
I'm not taking it because you do watch Atlanta, which is very black in you. I still have actually not watched black. Atlanta, even though Dallas has watched it. So I need to embark on that. I feel like I've just been annoyed by the 2-3 year breaks of Atlanta, and it's like now I'm getting used to that because that's basically how Euphoria is. It's probably gonna be another 2 years or something insane before we get another season of Euphoria, and that drives me insane. Like I hate that. I really, really hate that. Like, I get it. They got careers, they got stuff to do, but my gosh, like, I feel like I'm just used to like the classic days of television where when people were on a show, that was pretty much what they were doing. And like Grey's Anatomy, every single, I guess, September, you're going to get a new season of Grey's Anatomy. Come hell or high water, like it's coming. Unless there's like some really accentuating circumstances, like somebody pregnant or something like that. But besides that, you kind of depend on it. So yeah, I just feel like it's just hard to keep your interest when it's such long breaks, especially with like streaming and things like that to compete with too. So yeah, I don't love that about modern cable television, because I'm gonna be pissed if they pull something like that with Abbott Elementary, because I love that show too. That's a new fave.
Yeah, I take it. I don't know. Maybe because I'm a Donald Glover stan, so it's just I'm gonna watch regardless kind of thing. And I absolutely another huge crush. I don't know why. Lakeith Stanfield.
Ooh,
which is
oh my gosh,
I don't know. It's the aura.
He gives he gives what needs to be given.
yeah. So I mean, if those guys was working, they done Disney, Marvel, all that stuff. So I get it. They got to make a check. So, but I'll be here when y'all come back.
Yeah, in a couple years, I guess. So annoying. But yeah, so yeah, Myra, how was your week?
Overall my week was okay. I don't even know what happened besides an absolute troll came into my DMs.
Yeah.
But what happened before that? I don't know. Nothing really was popping off.
We had a random 4-way FaceTime call at the beginning of the week with Danny and Youre, which was absolutely amazing. It's so fun. That's all I can think of.
Nothing too eventful before that. But I mean, I'm still finishing up the new office craft room, whatever. So I'm like breaking it down into series. So I'm recording it for y'all, for those of y'all who've asked. And once I get to that part, y'all see it when I'm ready, pretty much. So it's coming. But that's been super exciting.
Okay, so obviously we're not gonna go all into detail about the situation, because this situation has been talked to and beat to death. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because it kind of leads into Myra's troll situation. So everybody knows by now about the situation with Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars last Sunday. There have been so many opinions about it. Most of them are just loud and wrong and just inappropriate opinions, where a lot of people should have just really kept it to themselves, unfortunately. But yeah, so Myra, she had reposted a real IGTV, something like that, from a creator, where they were talking about the Will Smith situation. Correct, Myra?
Yeah, it's from Lynn Neasy. I'll put her at in the, because it's like some underscores or something in there too. But she does like a topic every Friday, like I think it's called like Parking Lot Fridays or something like that. But she was just spot on, like kind of how I felt about the whole situation. So I shared it. I didn't even add any like commentary to it, just that I think all I said was that sis never missed, which she doesn't. She does a good follow. Period. She never missed every week. But that's it. That's literally it. And that's all I've ever said about the situation, because I'm over it.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, the way the situation has gotten drugged out and commentated on and memed and stuff, it's been absolutely exhausting. And I just, people just really needed to just chill on this a lot. So so you have reposted that video. Then somebody who followed you jumped into your DM, somebody that you have never even had a conversation with besides like a laughing emoji or something like that. And can you describe the 7-page letter that you received in your DM as a response to your repost?
In short, basically this whole situation is now going to cause mass shootings, because the kids are going to see what Will did and then go shoot up a school and say, oh, Will did it, so it's okay. That's literally in short, because I still to this day did not read the 7-page letter, because
I didn't either.
I don't know where, like, if this is some kind of rumor or if because I know we have a lot of new people since Wild. I don't know in what universe folks thought that Myra Plans It was a safe space for white tears. It is not. It is not. I am not the palatable Black person in the community that's just going to stroke your white ego and make you feel better about being a quote unquote ally. Not a safe space for that. Yep. So when you send me 7 pages, it's not going to get read.
Exactly. And it didn't.
It's not.
But like I said, we read enough of it to know what the person was getting at and just how truly loud and wrong that person was. And, you know, later on in the conversation, because there was a bit of a back and forth after that, the person tried to say that they were trying to understand where you were coming from. I guess with their perceived
they wanted me to educate her.
Their perception of you supporting Will Smith in that situation. They wanted you. She's saying that she wanted to understand, but in her first message, it wasn't her trying to get you to trying to find understanding from you. It was you trying to make you understand her, but you didn't ask her anything.
I don't know you.
You didn't even pose the question on your story like, hey, if you feel differently, hit the DMs or let me know. Like there was none of that. So,
and this lets me know that this person, although they claim they met me at Wild and they listen to the show and they support me because I'm very smart and articulate.
She said that in her words. Yeah.
Which for the white people listening, that is a huge microaggression. Like it's basically calling me like a very safe Black person to come to, and let's not do that.
Right.
But I just don't understand the logic to listen to the show and to know my platform and to be following me for any amount of time and think that was going to fly in my DMs. It's just you obviously are new around here.
Yeah, and I don't, like I said, because I don't think her initial intention was to get any type of understanding. Maybe later on in the conversation, she turned to that or she just said that or whatever. I'm not really sure, but I just feel like my first issue with this is expecting Black people who you have no relationship with other than following them online to go out of their way to do any type of emotional labor to help you understand something. I don't really understand that. Help me understand that.
Can't relate.
You know what I'm saying?
That's just where we don't owe you anything. And even anybody with a platform don't owe you anything. And this Will Smith situation is very dynamic. It's not black and white. And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of, as far as what I've seen, a lot of white people, honestly, a lot of white women have been trying to make this a very black and white situation. And it's just something, when you haven't questioned like Black women's hair, like it's something that's so dynamic that white people and white women just cannot understand. Like literally, we just had the Crown Act passed in March of 2022, like weeks ago, and it's, you know, going on to the Senate or whatever, like, and that's just to protect us from discrimination against our hair. That's something that y'all just cannot relate to. So for a white woman to come in my DMs and basically like educate me, like, no, I'm not fucking educating you. One, Google is free. Two, I don't know you. And three, this issue does not even concern you.
All facts.
It just doesn't. And it's boiled for them. They see it as, oh, we love Will Smith. He was another very palatable Black man in Hollywood or whatever. And now they are seeing him as a big scary Black man,
basically. Yeah.
And that's not what it is for us as white people. That's not what it is at all. And I'm not here to educate you or have that conversation with you. I don't know you. I don't owe you anything.
Yeah, I exactly. And it's like, even just like going back to the initial situation that started all of this, it really took me back to the kind of the situation that Go Wild. You know what I'm saying? How we all know that Black people have very different and harsher punishments than our white counterparts for the exact same thing, because obviously so many situations have been brought up, because while a lot of white people have been acting like, oh, this is just such the most disgraceful thing that ever happened at the Oscars, and oh, so embarrassing, and it's like, no, it's actually not. There have been a lot of disgraceful things that have happened at the Oscars, but once again, we're not here to educate anybody. Google is absolutely free. You can literally Google disgraceful shit that has happened at the Oscars, and Will Smith won't be the only situation that comes up, and there's actually a lot that are way worse than that. But yeah, so like, it's just for her to force her opinion and her perspective on you when you didn't ask for that. It was just a total violation of your boundaries, and just by virtue of being a public person with a public account online, that does not mean that you just have to take that type of stuff on the chin and that you just got to deal with it. Like, no, I don't have to deal with it, and I don't have to be nice. I can talk to you the same way that you're talking to me, which is crazy. And that's what I'm gonna do if you come in my DMs, and that's what Myra's gonna do if you come in her DMs. Like, it's not cool to expect public people who have a lot to lose to just take whatever people dish at them. No, it's not okay.
Yeah, no, you're definitely going to get read for sure. You're going to get read and put back in your place. Then you're going to get blocked. And if I find out that you go to the nearest white woman and try to defame my name, lie on me, talking about I was being mean and nasty or whatnot, I will then proceed to unblock you, drag your ass again, and block you another time. So please do not try it with me.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of people see me as the calm, kind of a bat person of the dynamic duo of this podcast, and just assume that I'm the safe one. And that's not the case. You're not going to come and disrupt my space.
Right.
Period. You're not.
I mean, she would know that if she actually listened to the podcast. I don't believe that she listens to the podcast. I don't even believe that she even really pays attention to what you put on your own page or your stories. But for some reason, she just so happened to be on your stories that day and saw that, and that's when she decided to jump, because anything that you said on this podcast and anything that you put on your public stories, I mean, I don't understand. Like, obviously, we're not like assholes who are just gonna jump down anybody's throat, but we're not gonna be disrespected. We definitely not gonna be disrespected when it comes to no Black shit. That's just what's not gonna happen.
Not at all. Not at all. It's for me, like, I literally thought it was a freaking April Fool's joke.
It was such a crazy thing. And then okay, so before we even get to what she did once she was blocked, the fact that Myra was, because we were literally like on Zoom or whatever. She was literally telling me like, what the lady was saying, and we were talking about like how to respond and things like that. Like, Myra was still like very respectful throughout the whole conversation. Like, there was no cussing, yelling, none of that. Anything that
absolutely would perceive, not. I could drag you without being nasty for sure.
Exactly. Like, anything that anybody would perceive as nasty, there was really none of that. And Myra just calmly basically kept telling the lady to leave her alone, and that she was not entitled to Myra's opinion or views or explanation about any fucking thing that she feels. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Sorry if your kids in the room, y'all may want to turn this one off, because this got me heated. I was so heated when this was going on. So yeah, and the lady just refused to leave Myra alone, and she just kept talking about how, basically trying to show, well, actually, I did this and I stood up for that, and I had this court case, and I am always an ally. I'm always on the right side of history, and this is why you.
Here's the gag, though.
So much.
This lady sent me the court case and told me to look it up.
She did.
But I'm supposed to educate her, right? But I have to go and do my own research to figure out what the hell she did. And mind you, she never cared.
Or asked.
I don't know. I never cared, never asked. Don't know who you are. Why is it my job now to look up what you have did? And then on top of that, of course, not me asking, because again, I don't give a fuck. But to come and be like, yes, I fought for Black women too. Why was that had to be needed information?
She was basically trying to prove to you that she's not a problematic white person.
If you're not a problematic white person, you ain't got to prove shit to nobody. It's just what you do.
Yep. Exactly. So, okay. So after a lot of back and forth, Myra blocked her. And then shout out to some of our friends in the planner community. So I guess we don't have to say their names, but another person in the planner community let us know that this person had jumped into her DMs also and was basically saying that Myra was so mean to me. She said the most awful things to me. All I did was ask for her perspective, but she yelled at me for not capitalizing black. And she told me I was too stupid and uninformed to understand none of the things that Myra said. And I'm not really sure how you yell at somebody via text in the DMs, but
no, I only thing I can assume is caps, which I did not use. Nor did I call anybody stupid.
Exactly.
I did say it's just a joke because it was on April Fool's Day. Because it has to be a joke if you think you got to try it with this one.
Exactly.
This has to be a joke. But that was the extent of it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. This is what we are talking about, like as Black women in this community. This is the stuff that we have to deal with. Like, this isn't the first time that I had like a white person run to another white person, then start saying like, oh, she was being mean, she was being aggressive or whatever. But what people don't realize is that I talk to everybody in this community and people know who I am and know my character. So you can't assassinate me. And like I said, if I find out, I'm unblocking you and reading you again.
Yep. Yeah, she told, our friend that Myra called her a liar. She even said, this is not the way to build allies. I'm sorry. Is that our goal in life, to try to turn every white person we have any type of communication with or that follows us online into an ally? No. If it just so happens, if you listen to the podcast, if you follow us online and you decide to devote yourself to becoming an ally, that's great. But that has never, I don't think that's any Black person's goal, is to turn all y'all into allies. So for her to say this is not the way to build allies, first of all, if your allyship can be taken away that quickly, you was never one in the first place. And two, we don't need you. We don't need you as an ally, girl. Like, and
not
like I said, this is all things that were said from her to another white person who was our friend in the community. Like Myra said, basically trying to assassinate her character and make her look bad because I'm so pissed because she's just so entitled that the fact that a Black person was not willing to do emotional labor for her benefit, for no benefit to that Black person who is literally a stranger to her. She was just so pissed about that. She just had to go try to, I don't know what she was trying to do. I don't really know what her purpose of that was, besides just to be a absolute train wreck and severely embarrassing herself, because that's all that came out of it. It was just embarrassing.
That's all that came out of it, because she chose the wrong white person to go cry tears to.
Yeah.
But this is why we're like as white women, you start to run tell that and try to assassinate somebody's character. 9 times out of 10, the people that you're running to are going to believe you. Luckily, the person she ran to is like, no, this is some bull. But do you see how freaking dangerous that is? Yeah. Because people are going to believe her at her word way before they believe me.
Right.
So it's just, it was the audacity for me. It was just the audacity. Like,
that's why I really have just stopped caring about that in regards, at least to this community, especially because people are gonna just think whatever they want to think. And it's like, as long as like my friends and the people I care about know me and know my character and know me better than that, I don't care what a bunch of strangers who want to think negative things about us think, because that's literally what it comes down to. Like, that person is a complete stranger. She was absolutely ready to think the absolute worst, and that's why she thinks that. And it's like, but what she thinks just doesn't matter, because she doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just irrelevant. She don't listen to the show. She's a liar. We don't give a damn what court case she was involved in. Like all that was just so gross. And it just makes me so upset because I feel like we've had so many interactions within this community with white people that turn out like this, and it's literally gotten to the point of like, do we want to talk to any new white people that we ain't never talked to before? Because my gosh. And it's like, obviously we don't want to live our lives and be closed off like that, and we want to make friends and be nice to people and all that type of stuff, but it's like, sometimes you just got to go into a lot of these situations with your guard up because people are just so quick. Like, you barely even said 10 words to this person, and she's literally trying to assassinate your character to somebody just because you didn't listen to her and do what she asked you to do, as if she has any type of authority or relevance to your life. It's gross to me. And like I said, this is not the first time this has happened. This happens a lot in this community. Like these are the type of things that have really made me pull back a lot of the times in this community, because it's so infuriating that people are so quick to try to twist Black women into angry psychopaths, same way they try to do Black men. You know,
this is why this whole situation blew up as much as it did. It's the underlying racism in it all. Like I mean, honestly, it's not a coincidence of what planner this person is all over that page, because literally that's the only issue that I've had with other white women in this community. They flock to that. I mean, y'all know, y'all listen to the show, y'all know. They definitely flock to that company. So I mean, I'm not surprised by that. But yeah, I really thought about like sharing the information, but I was just like, you know what, it's just really not really worth it, because it's like the people who get it, and the people don't, and those aren't my audience. The people who are going to believe that I was rude and nasty to them aren't my audience. The people that understand and know who I am as a person would never believe that. And that's why the other person let me know, like, this is a lie. And she ended up getting blocked by that person too, because she just would not stop. It's insane. The entitlement is so insane. Like, I don't owe you anything. The white women in the community that you ran to don't owe you nothing. Nobody owes you anything.
No.
We don't know you.
My thing is, like, step one to being a true ally to Black women and people of color and Black people in general is to understand that we don't owe you nothing. We don't owe you education. We don't owe you the benefit of the doubt. We don't owe you our time. We don't owe you our emotional labor. We don't owe you anything. If we choose to provide those things to you, be thankful and be grateful. But nobody owes you anything, especially not literally a stranger on the internet. And that really lets me know a lot about her, because I'm trying to figure out, you really so curious about why Black people are so defensive about this Will Smith situation. You didn't have nobody else Black in your life to talk to except somebody you ain't never even talked to before, who you just happen to follow they planner page. That lets me know a lot right there. That lets me know a lot right there.
That is so true.
You know what I'm saying? Really, because true. I feel like we have people in our lives who, if they were truly curious about why Black people responded to the situation the way that we did, they could come to us and it would be a safe space and it will be an open conversation. Granted,
for sure,
we don't. Everybody who we call friends already know what's up when it comes to all that.
That's true.
But let's just say we had one who that one just went over their head. Then we could be a safe space to them, people that we have relationships with, people who we have had conversations with, people who we could pick out of a lineup, people whose last name that we know. If you don't fit into that, then why do you feel like you have the right to just, and I don't care what she says, it was an attack. You don't write that long of a message to somebody and then turn around and say, but I love you so much. And I just think you're so brave and articulate and smart. And no, you were attacking that person because you don't agree with how they feel about that, how you think they feel about that. And you're pissed. You're not trying to look for an explanation. You're trying to change their mind, which is another step two. of just being on the internet in general. Like, why are you out to change people's minds? I see stuff all the time on people's stories that I don't agree with. If it's somebody I care about, we might have a conversation about it. 9 times out of 10 is not somebody that I care about, and I'll either ignore it or unfollow them if it's that deep. I don't spark a conversation with strangers trying to change their mind. I just don't do that. And I don't understand. It's weird to me the amount of people who do that. And most of the people who do that got one thing in common, and I'm just gonna leave it at
that. Yeah. I mean, where's the lie? Where's the lie? Yeah, is that was just really frustrating. And honestly, because like I said, I never talked to this person. It really would have went to request it if she didn't laugh at a reel that I shared back in 2020.
So November, you have never even said anything to her. It was her responding to you.
Yeah. Wow. I couldn't even. Apparently, I met her at WoW. Couldn't tell you when, where, how, what time. I couldn't.
No, me neither. We met a lot of people at WoW.
Yeah, we did. It's. But we know the people who we actually talked to that we met at WoW.
We do.
There's no question about that.
I think that was bullshit too. I don't think she.
It probably was. Like, because how can I prove that? You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know, most people like, oh, you know, let's take a picture. There's no photo evidence. But yeah, it's just so frustrating. I just like, obviously, you know, we have a huge audience in this planner community. A lot of people who listen to our show are white women. You know, obviously there's nothing wrong with that. If y'all listen to this show and y'all have been listening for a while, clearly y'all mess with us and we mess with y'all too. But I just feel like this is just a good lesson and a reminder to give Black people and people of color space to feel however they feel about something. And if you don't like it, then you just don't like it. Why is your goal to change other people's mind about something that you barely even understand? Because she don't understand the nuance of that situation with Will Smith and Chris Rock. She don't. And she even admitted that she didn't understand it because, like, if she understood it, why is she coming to you trying to get some type of education? So you know you don't know what you're talking about. So it was it's just so frustrating. And like I said, this is not to say that you can't ask somebody a question or try to engage in a conversation about something. But one, that's definitely not what this person was trying to do. She was literally trying to attack Myra and change her mind about something that she felt differently about. But when you do try to ask somebody a question or engage in a conversation, especially something that has some, you know, racial undertones or overtones or whatever the situation is, make sure it's somebody that you actually have a relationship with to where something like that is okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, do that. And if and let's just say you think you have that relationship with that person and you ask them a question and they let you know, like, hey, I'm not trying to have this conversation with you. I'm not trying to go there. Say, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I hope I didn't make you uncomfortable. That's totally fine. And move on with your damn life.
Girl, when I tell y'all, I kept constantly, I literally had told that person to stop several times.
She did.
So at a certain point, it just became harassment.
The lady kept saying, okay, and then she would start typing again. It's like, but you just said okay, though. You just said
leave me alone.
Didn't she literally say, I'm stopping? And she did our friend the same way. Our friend was telling her to stop, and she would say okay, and then she wouldn't stop.
She would not, to the point where she was just like, you know what, I have to block you.
It's harassment
because it's literally harassment.
It's literally harassment. So I just it's so frustrating, and it just makes you just wary of the interaction that you have sometimes with people online, because you just never know, like, when something is gonna go left. And I just feel like a lot of times people are trying so hard to prove that they're an ally or do this or do that and have a relationship with more Black people in their life or whatever the situation is. And you just cannot force it. Like, any of the really great relationships that we've been able to have with people in this relationship have just organically grown into that. And they haven't been forced by one side or the other. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, because we, like, people peep that, like, and we'll get mad, uncomfortable, like, okay, I think you're trying a little too hard, like, what in it, and then that'll make us question your motives too, like, what's and we'll really let going you know.
Yes. We will definitely let you know. And that's another thing with this whole situation. Like, there's no way that you had any ounce of, knowing me from my platform or even on this podcast, because if anybody in this damn community will let you know, it's two of us.
Yes,
we will let you know. I'd let freaking Happy Planner know. I've let EC know. Like, if there's an issue and we want to talk about, we will definitely let you know. Yep. So the audacity to come in my DMs and invade my space like that, like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't. It's ridiculous. And like I said, like, and if some reason you just lost your mind momentarily and you did it, when the person tells you to stop and leave them alone, do just that. Don't keep trying to explain yourself. Don't keep trying to force the conversation down their throats. Leave them the hell alone. It's very simple. Yeah. Like, I just could never in my life imagine myself forcing a conversation on a total stranger when they have asked me multiple times to stop and leave them alone. Like, who does that?
Yeah, we just can't relate. Like, I don't know. I just on a human level, just respect people entirely too much to even do that or have the entitlement to think about that.
That's the thing. That's the respect. And at least we know, if we don't know nothing else, her disrespect to you, it probably wasn't racially motivated, because she was disrespecting our friend too. She's just a disrespectful ass person. Like, when it comes to being disrespectful, she don't see color, because anybody can get it. And that is not a compliment to you, sis.
It is not.
It's you not. Listen to the podcast.
It's not. Yeah, wow. It's just that whole situation is just wild. I think that person is just super entitled, and when she wasn't getting what she thought she should have gotten, she turned into the victim and started fighting.
Yep.
Both parties.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just a ridiculous situation. And like I said, I don't want to give people the perception that you can't talk to people or try to engage in a conversation or try to seek some understanding. It's just having that entitlement of expecting people to talk to you and trying to force yourself on them. That's when you mess up. If that lady would have sent that same crazy message and Myra would have said, look, I don't care to talk to you about this. If that person would have said okay, that person would have said okay, and we wouldn't have been talking about this on the podcast today. It would have ended right there.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't make a mistake, but once somebody is telling you you need to chill, then you need to just chill. Now it's not a mistake. Now it's a choice to harass this person who is not comfortable having this conversation with you.
Don't try it. Don't try it.
Too much.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. And I just over dealing with it with this community. Just like,
I know.
How did you even get over here? How? I don't know. I'm clearly not, my audience is not you. Yeah. Clearly it's not you.
Right.
But yeah,
I don't know. Some people just slip through cracks. But like I said, that's why I just kind of stopped even worrying about folks like that, because I feel like they was gonna show themselves eventually.
They always do.
And they always do. And then you can proceed accordingly and block them. So, I'm just happy that she didn't take the route of others and, sending an email asking why she was blocked. Because, girl, but though.
You don't do that either. It's so weird. It's such a weird the internet is such a weird place, because we get information so quickly, like, with it's just fast. Everything in our environment is fast. And like, with us having the platform, a lot of people get to know us, especially if they are listening to this podcast.
Right.
But what people forget is that we don't get to know you. It's literally, y'all seen that meme going around, like how I listen to podcasts and it's like this girl playing with her dolls with a poster of girls playing with their dolls. And that's literally how it is. And like, we get it. We listen to podcasts too. Like, we feel that connection with people too. So we totally get it. It's completely normal. It's just when you take that next step into thinking that, we are BFS and we can have all of these conversations, when it's just like, to me, like, I don't know who you are. We've never talked before.
Exactly.
So it's just remembering where that line is.
Right. And people need to kind of keep that in mind. Like when you're interacting with people who you know, listen to their podcasts, watch their YouTube videos, whatever, like you said, you know them, but they don't know you. So you shouldn't talk to them as if y'all know each other, because that's just not the truth.
It's not the truth. Yeah.
That is just not the truth at all. And it's like, that's why, I mean, you know, I try not to, you know, expect everybody to react and do the same things I do, because I know we're all different people. But it's like, I've been listening to podcasts for years too. Some podcasts I really love, like literally podcast relationships longer than real life friendships, of how long I've been listening to people's shows, like The Read, for example.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
I have just never in my life felt like, oh, Kia Fury and Crystal are my real life friends, let me hop in their DMs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't. It's just, yeah. And I know it's not, obviously not saying we're not Kia Fury and Crystal or anything like that, but yeah, I just feel like people just need to really keep that in mind. Like, okay, I know this person, I've listened to them on their podcast for, you know, X amount of years or whatever, but they don't know me from a lineup. So I don't need to act like me and them have this type of late relationship and friendship that we just don't have, because they don't know me. They just don't know me. And it's no shade. We just don't know everybody who listens to the podcast. We have no way of knowing everybody who listens to the podcast.
There's no way. There's almost 2,000 people every week.
Exactly.
There's no way, y'all.
We see numbers. We don't see names.
Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, and the same goes, like you said, for The Read. Like, I would gladly, like, if I met them, like, give them their flowers. Like, y'all, you know, I've been listening to y'all for a while, but it's not gonna go to the level, like, let me stay the night. Like, you know, like, y'all don't know me.
It wouldn't be like, remember that one time I tweeted you back, Crystal, and she was like, girl, what?
Exactly.
You don't say tweets like it.
Yeah, exactly. It's the line. I think most people understand that, but it just has to be a reminder, apparently, because folks just been crossing that line.
For real. Yeah. They've been crossing it for a long time. And it's like every couple months, I feel like we start to feel kind of safe. And then somebody jumped and, you know, and tuck and roll over the line. And we just like, okay, I guess there needs to be a reminder to put out. And like I said, this is definitely not telling people don't talk to us or nothing crazy like that. Sure, but it's just like, be respectful that people don't know you, and you can't talk to people like they've been your friend for years if they don't know you. You just can't do that. Like, there are things that some of our friends, like Myra, Danny, you know, Lord, Julie, people like that can just say to us that other people can't. You know what I'm saying? Because we just don't know them like that. And we have a lot of friends that we're super, super close to, even people on our Patreon that we're really close to, who can say certain things and it's fine. But other people who we haven't interacted with, it's like you just need to keep that. There's a boundary there if you don't truly, genuinely, like, mutually know each other. You know, so you just got to be careful until you form that relationship with people.
Yeah. And those relationships takes time. Like, all those relationships, like Emily, Laura, Nunu, like those things takes time. And I think, like I said, with the internet being so quick, so fast, we can get information in like a millisecond. People have forgot that relationships take time.
Yeah.
It's not quick.
No.
You know, and it's a two-way street.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, guys, that was exhausting. It's always so exhausting. Like, we don't like dealing with situations like that. They just always just come for some reason. I don't know, man. It's
it's traumatizing. I hate like generalizing people who use that planner brand, but at this point it's like red flag. Kind of is a red flag. Yeah, kind of is. At least, at the very least, if I'm gonna be like, let me just tread lightly until I know you a little bit better. It's a hard stop for me at this point. But can y'all blame me at this point? If it's a full page of just that brand, it's a hard stop. It's at the point it's almost an automatic block at this point, because it's just too much. It's too traumatizing.
It really is. It really, really is. Yeah. But yeah, guys, we're gonna take a quick break to hear from our sponsors, and we will be right back.
Ooh.
All right, guys. So we are back. And just so you know, if you are interested in advertising with Planners and Wine, if you are a big business, small business, content creator, if you have something that you want to get out there, advertise more, hit us up at plannersandwine@gmail.com. And we will give you some great information about how to be a show sponsor.
Yes, we would love to work with y'all. Super excited. And shout out to the people who have been reaching out. And those who we have worked with in the past. Like, we love y'all.
Yes.
Y'all get it. Y'all get it clearly.
The girls get it. Get it. Yep, exactly. Also, we are having our live episode with our patrons in a couple of weeks. So get in your questions to ask pnw@gmail.com. If you have a question, if you want us to ask our patrons on the live show, if you want it to be anonymous, let us know. It can be a question about anything and everything except for how do I approach Black strangers and ask them to educate me about racial topics. Don't ask us that, because we already told you don't do that. Leave that one out.
In 2022, it's still what we are going through. It's wild.
Thanks to the internet. I feel like the internet has a lot to do with that, because I feel like
absolutely.
Before the internet, Black people were not as accessible to a lot of these people who don't have Black people in their life.
Girl, the internet didn't exist. I would not have known that whole situation happened, because just like everybody else who got an opinion on it was not watching it.
The Oscars until that happened.
Yep.
So the Oscars really need to be thanking both of them, because I know they got their ratings up.
It definitely did. Instantly.
It
definitely did.
Because one of my said that show. Anyway, so I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, kind of to piggyback off of the situation that we just talked about that Myra went through, is setting boundaries with people online. Myra, how do you go about doing that? Like, how do you let people know when it's too much, or how do you kind of cut it off before it gets to be too much? Because I feel like you don't have to be a super public person or have a big YouTube channel or have a successful podcast. You don't have to do that in order for your boundaries to be disrespected by other people online. You could literally just be anybody with online presence. So how do you go about setting those boundaries with people and making sure they respect them?
Honestly, I would say be firm. If you have somebody you can trust, run the conversation by them. That's what I had to do. So not only did you violate my time, you violate my friend's time. So now I'm even more mad about it. But anywho, if you do have somebody safe and that trustworthy you can run by, I definitely recommend that. But at the end of it, like, be firm. And it's not mean to be like, hey, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable talking about this with you. I'm not comfortable sharing that. Like, that's perfectly fine to say, and it's not mean. I think especially if you're like trying to grow your platform, I feel like a lot of people are a bit weary of when to like actually, what to say and not come off mean, because you don't want it to, turn into something else, because clearly people will lie on you and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you got to protect your peace.
Yes.
And being firm will protect your peace. Don't drag it along, because it's just going to destroy your peace.
Yeah, that's true. Be super firm with people. And I know it's easier said than done, but try not to care so much about what people are going to think about you setting those boundaries. I think that's really, really important, because if you're all caught up in, I don't want this person to think I'm mean, I don't want them to think I'm this, I don't want them to think I'm that, they going to think whatever they want to think, no matter how nice you put it, no matter how mean you put it, they're going to think whatever you want to think. But I feel like as long as you are clear about where you stand, and you let that stance be known, then they might try to, but they really don't have much to argue with. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are situations where people have just out of nowhere, asked somebody if they could call them, or gotten their phone number not from that person and texted them. These are all situations that we know of happening in this community, and it's just like, like, it's crazy because it's like if you present so nicely online, a lot of people just really take advantage of that. And it sucks because you don't want to have to be like a jerk in order for people not to try to run all over you and disrespect your boundaries. And I don't feel like you do have to be a jerk, but maybe after that, that's when you let them know, like, hey, actually, no, you can't call me. Or hey, actually, no, you can't text me. Hey, actually, you can email me. That is how the best way for me to do business. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have that conversation with people, and if they're uncomfortable, then they're uncomfortable. But it's like I feel like they kind of open that can of worms to being uncomfortable, and sometimes you just gotta close it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you kind of have to take a hold of the situation, and you teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
So early on, like set those boundaries, let people know firm, don't, oh, maybe that is not clear. It's not clear. And the other person can be seeing the perspective a whole nother way. It may be clear and obvious to you that you're uncomfortable, but they may not see that. So
Right.
you have to be verbal and firm with it. And you're probably going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to be weird, especially if you're like a non-confrontational person. Like I get it, but trust, you will feel so much better if you just be firm right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah. And you just got to be honest with people too. Like we've had to have some not super comfortable, but very honest conversations with people when, sometimes people intentions were not super clear, or we felt like a bit of pressure for certain things coming from certain people. You just got to be honest and real with that person. If that person is somebody who truly likes you, truly respects you, truly wants to be your friend or wants to have a relationship with you, they will understand that, and they will take it how it needs to be taken, and they will understand. Sometimes they might even apologize for making you feel a certain way, making you feel uncomfortable, not respecting your boundary or whatever the situation is. But how people handle those type of situations really says a lot about their character, because like how that person we talked about earlier handled that situation with Myra said a lot about her character. It did. You know what I'm saying? It said more than
it said performative,
anything.
but
It said a whole bunch of things. It said a whole bunch of things.
But I think it goes back to what we said before, as far as like people have these blurred lines on the internet. Like with friendships and relationships, they watch you, they like what you do, and they perceive that they're at a closer relationship than what it truly is. So especially if you're trying to grow a platform, it's probably going to be something you're going to have to do sooner than later.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it sucks. That's the kind of downfall of like putting yourself out there. But again, you teach people how to treat you, and if you're firm early on, it gets easier, and you won't have those situations as often.
That's true. And that doesn't mean that you may never have to remind somebody, but it will, like if you kind of go into the situation already having the boundaries set and clear, that you just have less problems later on. Because now Myra's probably gonna have to start putting something on her stories every month to say, hey, I'm not a safe space for white tears, so save it. Happy April. Like, and it's sad. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't want to, and I feel like even then, a couple of people who just don't want to listen, don't want to respect other people, are still gonna slip through the cracks no matter what you do. But only thing that you can control is your actions. That's all that you can control. So as long as you know that you did what you needed to do to set those boundaries and make it very clear, you can't spoon feed it to other people. You can't help how they perceive it or how they take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, that's absolutely true. And the people who get it are going to support you because they like what you do and love your content, or like you as a person. They're going to get it. So it sucks. It's such an awkward conversation to have, but I feel like if you have the conversation immediately, it's going to be so much better.
Yep. I agree. The last thing I kind of want to talk about is men with podcasts. And I know y'all are like, wait, what are you talking about? Okay. So just in case you might not be on TikTok. I know everybody's not on TikTok.
I thought it was about Shake.
No, oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know. I forgot he even existed. Thank you for that reminder. But so for the past couple of months on TikTok, there has been a wave of us women trolling all these men who have podcasts, who use podcast platforms to say really insane, stupid things. A lot of the things that these men have been saying have been directed towards Black women. There's one, I'm not gonna name any of those podcasts because honestly I don't even know the names of them, and they don't deserve no streams, no attention, nothing like that. But there's like one example. There's a clip going around on TikTok where it's a group of men talking, and one of them is saying something to the effect of, oh, she got her degree, she got her career, she done bought herself a house, she's out of the running, basically saying he can't be with a successful woman. I know that sounds insane, right? I wish I was making it up. And I believe this most recent clip that's going around, I don't know if it's on the same podcast. It may be on a different podcast. Because like I said, it's a lot of stupid ones out there. What's going around right now is this podcast where they were saying that if Russell Wilson wasn't rich, and who he is, this era wouldn't be with him because women don't like lames, and she never would have left Future to be with Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson is just so lame and da 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 da. And it just really pissed me off because what makes Russell Wilson so lame? The fact that he's a good husband and a father? Like really, what makes him lame exactly? I'm very confused.
Miss Youre been out here making money.
At that part.
This is why certain people just don't need the internet. I feel like you should apply. You have to do a litmus test or something before you get access to the internet.
That would be a great idea. And that you should have to do a test before you do a lot of things, because a lot of people wouldn't be passing. But yeah, it was just so weird. And it's just like, I'm just so disheartened by the fact that so many of these men, and a lot of them that I've seen over the past couple months has been Black men, have just decided to dedicate their public platform to degrading and dragging and trying to humiliate Black women. Because my thing is, Russell Wilson is literally a NFL quarterback. He could have any woman in the world, just like Sierra could have any man in the world. So for anybody to think that they're with each other for any reason besides they just love each other, it's just weird.
Wow, yeah.
It's just weird to me. And I've also, because I think around that conversation, well, it probably was another conversation, gross conversations about not wanting women who already have kids. Like I said, not wanting women who are more successful than them, saying that women need to stop thinking that they're special. It's just the patriarchy is just, it just don't want to give it up, and it needs to give it up.
I will say, because I do watch a lot of commentary YouTube channels, there is also a lot of white male podcasts like this alpha male kind of genre within the past year or two. Has just blown up for some weird reason,
because there's a lot of idiot men out there to listen to it.
That cape for it, that will go up for it. And it's like, a part of me is like, are they trolling? Because I mean, it is easy money, because clearly people will throw money at it. Because
these wild things are getting so much attention. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm like. Are they trolling? Are they trying to say the most outlandish thing to, one, get the people who do believe that come in, and then two, to get the outrage for people that's like, clearly this is some bull. I don't know. But it's been strange, because I've just been noticing that whole genre of alpha male just blowing up within the last year or so.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, it's basically just one is clickbait, and two, I feel like a lot of these men, they feel like this, and they just have been empowered to say it on public platforms because, like I said, it is getting a lot of attention, and it is blowing up. But I just don't understand why you want to build your platform on tearing down women, especially Black women, especially if you're a Black man.
Weird flex.
It's so weird.
So but weird. I mean, that specifically with Black men, unfortunately, isn't new.
Mm-hmm. And it's like everything kind of comes back to racism, because it's all about proximity to whiteness.
Exactly.
You know,
it's just exactly
thinking that you're like, some of them feel like they finally have somebody that they can be perceived as better than by tearing down Black women. And it's just the weirdest, grossest thing in the world to me when you're talking about women who look like your mama, who look like your sister, your aunties, your grandmas, your daughters. And it's like, why do you even, and you know what, and I don't even like when people like try to remind people that you have aunties, you have daughters, you have moms, all this type of thing, because it's like, you shouldn't even have to have any type of proximity to any woman in the world in order to just respect women and not want to drag and tear down women. And if the first woman in your life is your daughter or your mom, and that's the only woman that you care to respect, then you need help. It's weird.
Speaking of Shake, but
speaking of Shake, because I bet he has all the respect in the world for his mama and his auntie.
Absolutely.
And nobody else that's not a blood relative of him. And that is just disgusting and sad.
That
disgusting. So I say all this to say, man, y'all gonna have to start taking a test before y'all start a new podcast, because I literally wouldn't even know about these podcasts. Straight men, yes. I wouldn't even know about these podcasts if it wasn't for the wild, insane, degrading shit that they're saying about women, especially Black women. I wouldn't even know about them.
That's why I'm like, are y'all trolling? Because that's, like you said, it is clickbait.
I think it is
definitely clickbait.
I think that the Joe Rogans and the Kevin Samuels of the world have started this movement of idiot straight men with public platforms saying idiot straight men stuff.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And getting millions of dollars for it. Oh, shout out to Spotify.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. This just makes no sense. And and I feel like there are no, in the reverse, like, I can't recall, there are no podcasts that their whole entire goal is just to tear down and degrade men. Like, yes, there are podcasts where women are talking about men, but their whole purpose is not just to make men feel inadequate and invalid and horrible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we don't have the power in that situation.
No.
Men do. Yeah, it's such a weird thing.
Yeah, y'all. So it's just been I don't know. This is a very exhausting time in the world. And also, you know what? I saw something online too. I think it was on TikTok, and it was telling people of color or Black people who are volunteering to help with the situation in Ukraine that they may be called the N-word by Ukrainian soldiers. Have you seen that? Yeah, I'll have to find that TikTok.
Yes, send it to me.
Great way to get help. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and let us know that no matter what the situation is, we're still gonna have to deal with racism.
I mean, awesome. I feel like it's kind of ingrained into us now. Like, we literally had a whole conversation about racism, and it's in the planner community where we deal with pens and paper. It's literally everywhere.
But it's like, even the audacity to be in a situation where people are trying to help you and you're still racist to them. Not cute. Not cool.
I think that's the theme of literally the theme of this show. Like,
the other day.
It's that power dynamic.
Yeah.
It's just to be like, oh, I'm better than you. It's gross.
So gross. It is gross. It is gross. Yeah. I wish I could end this episode on a happy note. Right now, as we're recording, the Grammys is going on. Another award show that I don't watch because I just don't watch award shows.
Yeah, I forgot it. Yeah.
In general. They bore me really to death. And they're boring. They are largely very, very boring. But I've been seeing on TMZ Don't ask me why I'm looking at TMZ, but I have been seeing on TMZ people have addressed the Will Smith situation multiple times, making jokes and stuff. So I'm like, okay, is it a joke or are y'all traumatized? Because it can't be both.
It can't be both. That was just so weird. It's so weird. Like the jokes, I knew the jokes were coming, but it still kind of felt weird to me because just the whole situation. Again, this is why I didn't care to have this conversation with a white woman. It was just weird to like joke about that when it at the core of it is like a Black woman's pain kind of thing. But that was weird. But I knew it was I was expecting the jokes gonna come. It's the internet. But then the switcheroo of the whole being traumatized from it, that was really weird for me.
It was weird for me as well. It was weird for me as well. Because I feel like a lot of people's pain is involved in it. I mean, nobody is sitting up here saying that they're happy that Chris Rock got the shit slapped out of him on television. Like, nobody is saying that. I'm sure there was a very embarrassing situation for him. I feel like Will is probably genuinely embarrassed that he acted like that. Yeah. And Data is embarrassed about that sick joke. And hopefully Chris Rock is embarrassed about that joke that he told as well. It's a lot of embarrassment and pain to go around in that whole situation. And so, like, yeah, like you said, like, I don't think that is something that people need to be, so up in arms, acting like they are just traumatized for life. They got to go to therapy because they witnessed that. But I also don't think it should be a meme either. And every time I've been seeing either one of those things on my timeline on TikTok, on my feed on TikTok, I've been marking that as not interested because I'm not interested in any of that.
Nah. Exactly. Yeah, it's just been a weird time. And I feel like specifically it's just been a weird week for honestly Black women after that whole situation. Like it's hard to explain, but I'm sure every Black woman listening to this is like, it's just been weird.
Yeah, it's just been weird. Yep, exactly. But yeah, y'all, thank y'all so much for listening to the episode. Feel free to give us some feedback, comment on the episode post, hop in our DMs. Do not ask us to explain why we feel any way about anything. Just don't.
Yeah, like, we don't care to talk about the situation. No, like we said, the only reason why it really got brought up is because of what happened afterwards.
We had decided before that we weren't going to even talk about it on the show because it had just been beat to death so hard, and we just didn't have anything else to add to the commentary that's out there.
Everybody ain't got to have a hot take, y'all.
That part.
A lot of people just need to like that TikTok that's going around. Don't say that. Don't say that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's why they say you should listen twice as much as you speak. Some people ain't been doing a great job at that. A lot of these celebrities who be getting their asses dragged because they are hot takes. They should listen probably 3 times as much as they speak, but I digress.
We don't need to know what ASAP Rocky thinks about certain situations. It's fine. You know,
we don't.
Like, we don't need to know that.
I promise we don't. Exactly. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for listening to our show this week. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Myra Plans It, Meg's Got a Plan, Planners and Wine, and Reality and Wine. Make sure you are following our podcast feeds, both the Reality and Wine one and the Planners and Wine one. And yeah, I guess we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye, guys.